You are now listening to the Young Black and Figuring It Out podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at YoungBlackFIO or on Facebook at Young Black and Figuring It Out. For all questions or inquiries, send your emails to ybfpodcast20@gmail.com. But if you really want to make a statement while showing your support, go to www.youngblackfio.com to purchase some merchandise. We truly appreciate your love and support. On behalf of the YBF team, thank you.
What's good, y'all? It's your boy Herb.
And it's your girl Mo.
And welcome to our soon-to-be world-renowned podcast, Young, Black, and Figuring It Out. What up, though?
What it do?
Whatever we tell it. You feel me? How you feeling?
I feel fantastic.
Back at it for another week.
Mm-hmm. How
Yes.
you feeling?
Man, feeling great.
I didn't know where that man was going.
What's the thing they used to do? Something back at it again with the, what was that?
With the white vans?
Daniel.
Damn.
Dang, yes. Back at it again. That's how I feel with another episode.
Yeah,
Let's get it.
That's cute.
Yeah, I straight up forgot what that was. That was a long time ago. That was like when Vine
Yeah.
doing it for the Vine.
Nah, I ain't gonna do it.
Yep, now we're doing it for the podcast, y'all. All right. Let's get it cracking. We're going to have a good time. Listen, we got a great topic. We fresh off of it, so I hope it made an impact. I'm going to be doing my homework, but before we get there, you know how we got to start off.
What did we figure out this week?
Hey, what did we figure out this week?
Yes.
You want to go first?
I shall.
Okay.
I tell this to people, and I don't know where I learned it. I think it was from a good friend. But to be clear is to be kind, right?
Brene Brown.
She's not my friend, but
That's
someone,
where I came from. But yeah,
someone must have quoted it to
Yeah.
me. And I'm like, you know what? If that ain't the truth,
Yeah.
there's just been so many interactions with people. And I feel like sometimes people create a narrative of what they
Tough.
think you've done, think about you, or have their own thoughts. And sometimes us being silent and just listening can be effective. But other times, if I feel like if someone's speaking on my name,
Yeah.
or if they are bringing something up regarding me, my goal is to be clear.
Yeah.
Right? I don't want to mince words. I don't want any sort of kind of complications. I feel like especially in like interactions with people, if you value a relationship with someone, you know, maybe you don't feel like saying certain things, or you're like, I don't want to create conflict. Bump that. To be clear is to be kind. Like if they don't know,
Yeah.
what are you expecting to happen?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, and I support that. That's how I'm trying to live my life forward.
Yeah. And then it's like, then people can make informed
Yes,
decisions and choices because they know exactly where you and they stand.
exactly.
Yeah, I hear that. And it's not like you guessing and you playing around. You can get right to it.
It's helpful, not hurtful,
Yeah.
not harmful.
Yeah.
Oh,
Got to get through it.
yeah, I support all that.
Come up with that.
What about you this week?
Funny enough, I learned something similar. Actually, the same thing. So I'm not going to use those exact, like that was in my mind. I was going to like talk it out about what I meant, but that really sums up.
Twinning.
Yeah, nah, for real though. So it's like, yeah. And to be clear is to be kind. And sometimes it could be like clear in a positive, productive. And sometimes it could be clear in a constructive, like, nah, this ain't cutting it, you know? And that's better than not. Like, it's better to just keep it a buck. Especially when you like, the other option is to enable somebody because you like feeding a false narrative that they're doing their thing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you great. That's how people end up on American Idol. And you like, yo, or the
Yo.
voice, and you like, gang, they terrible.
Oh, like they can't.
Like, how did they get there?
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody was not kind enough to be clear.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah, I'm with
That's a
you.
good point.
Nah, for real. And so I don't want that. Like, nah, let me tell people now. Like, oh, no, that ain't it. Yeah, no, for real.
That's loving.
So,
I
yeah,
support that.
sometimes you got to do that in a way that's constructive.
Yes.
Constructive.
You know, a little more fragile, a little more sensitive.
Oh, yeah, or just, yeah.
We learn the hard way sometimes. you
Yeah,
know?
I do got to make sure that I can be clear, but also without being like,
Too blunt,
yeah,
too brash.
yeah. Okay.
What? That's what people have told me that I am.
Fair enough.
He thought I was coming for him. Was I speaking for both of us? Yes.
Yeah. Fair enough. Yes. So that's what we learned this week.
Mm-hmm.
Good week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great week.
Yeah. All right. So you ready to talk about this?
Yes.
All right, listen, y'all. So there is a lot going on in the world. So we're going to keep coming back to back with these, I think, very relevant topics.
Yes.
So maybe you probably know just as much, if not more than me, about like the context of what was going on just recently with the economic boycott for like what Black and brown folks are doing and why. You got a good sense, or you want me to start it off?
Oh, feel free to start off. I'll join in,
Keep going. So
you should give me the option.
yeah, so I don't know who started it or like when this was flowing in, but
I think it was Al Sharpton.
was it Al?
I believe so, because people have been calling it Al Sharpton's boycott, or we're gonna take his leadership.
Yeah. Now I'm not gonna lie to you. We in a tough spot when we taking Al Sharpton's leadership, but that's okay.
When there's no one else to rise.
Yeah.
No one's following Jasmine yet,
Jasmine Crockett. Shout out to her.
and we need to.
Yeah, she's dope. Now she is somebody we can get behind and follow. She's dope. Yeah. So but Al is tough. But anyway, I think this concept is dope. Al Sharpton supposedly was like, hey, we need to actually think about and show the power of the Black and brown dollar. Right. So folks who instead of going and spending money in places that don't support you, but actually take your resources and don't reinvest into you, like Walmart. We talked about that not too long ago.
Right, Target.
They're like getting rid of that Juneteenth ice cream. Target is like, listen, Walmart was mad that people were in uproar about that Juneteenth ice cream.
It was a poor choice. They should have done it.
Yeah, but now this is to get back. They like, it's a wrap. So yeah, Target. It's a lot of other places that we missing. But on what was the date? Was it the 28th that they did this?
Yes, February 28th, the last day of the month.
Yeah, folks in many places opted to not spend their money in stores that did not support them. So the idea was to talk through it. Buy where? Local?
Buy local, small businesses to get
Yes.
things that you need. Really focus on like essential buying that day. But I think they're trying to gear people toward finding other options or outlets rather than giving to the big corporations who don't care about us.
Yeah.
And, like funding it back into our own neighborhoods.
Yeah, yeah. And just to make and I imagine that they know that's not a long-term strategy to get changed, because companies can definitely deal with the economic impact of a day. But the idea was to show our power.
Yes.
And then probably to reach back out to say, here's what happened during that day, and to show that, we actually can. One, you can survive without pulling up to Walmart. Just other options. Even though them prices, oh my God. But yes, it's like,
Yo.
I ain't gonna lie, them prices.
Can't with him.
Like,
Choose
my
a lane.
goodness. But you're like, no, it's like, I won't do it. But it's like, dang.
Yeah.
This week, 'cause I haven't been doing it since. I'm like, yo, the grocery budget's off the charts. But but we gotta sacrifice. But also, you can find places where it actually is more savings, right? So I think that was the concept behind it.
Yeah.
So that was the thing for the day. But also the things like Amazon.
Yes.
I was like, don't do Amazon, but dang, the convenience.
And some people said, let's do it more in a slow rollout, because it's hard to go cold turkey on everything
I agree.
all at once, especially if you have been utilizing all these things regularly.
Yeah.
It's like take one at a time.
I like that better.
Yeah. Because it's more logical. It's more like you can actually do that versus everyone just stop and don't do it. Then you're going to feel like half of you are, half of you aren't, and that's not fair to anybody.
We should pick the one that's the most problematic and be like them first.
Yeah. I think people really focus on Target more than anyone.
Yeah, let's
to
get
do
about
that
a
too.
Target.
Yeah. And I think that's more hurt feelings than anything, because, unlike Walmart, they were really acting like they were about us.
Yeah, they was in the mix. Walmart never was really with it, but they just put out the Juneteenth ice cream. But Target,
Performative. Yeah.
yeah, they like, yo, that wasn't even good. But Target,
Who tried it?
I don't know who tried it.
Keep bringing up this ice cream.
But I was like, hey, I can bring that up because I cannot believe them.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, as if we was gonna be, oh my God, this is amazing.
Pandering. It was ridiculous.
It was so whack. But okay, so but Target was all in, and then they just walked it back. And it was like they didn't care.
Quick and in a hurry. It was barely an announcement before they were like, oh yeah, let's get them out of here. It's like, what?
I was like, dang.
Why are you like this?
It was like, oh, we was gonna do this anyway. But like they was planning to do it on Friday, and then the announcement came out. They're like, oh, bad, we could just blame this. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you right now, seeing those videos of people who are going in there for whatever reason,
Yeah.
and they're like, empty, nobody's shopping. And I was like, yeah.
That's what I'm talking about.
I barely went to Target before, but now, what's the reason? I don't go.
I live in an area in Vermont where there's only a Target. Like it's
It's only a Target?
Like, there's not many. It's like a Target, a Walmart, and a Wegmans, and Aldi.
Aldi has disappointed me, and I can't speak on them right now.
Did they do something?
They rolled themselves back themselves. They quietly did it though.
Oh,
like you didn't even notice. All of a sudden, things were just missing from the website.
Aldi was never like that anyway, but I feel it.
They're from like Sweden or something, so I don't know if anyone really anticipated or expected more from them.
Yeah, but the food was never. It's like it was always expired. But anyway, so Wegmans,
I am not. I can't defend them. This is the hard part. As a former Aldian.
But don't go, y'all. The point is, we should.
I'm sorry.
Okay. The point is, like, yeah, all these places doing these things, we got to show them that, hey, we not gonna. If y'all ain't gonna support us, we ain't gonna support you.
Exactly.
Because it's like, why give folks the dollars? So, but I do think before we get into like, there's history behind this, y'all. So stay with us. I know we talking a lot about stuff happening right now, but there's a history to this that like there's actually structure in a systematic way we can approach this and make change and demand change.
Right.
So, but before we get there, I do think there's something to that was a great thought about doing it like one at a time. That folks say, "Oh, not here." It's like let people go to Walmart. Because even I have a guy I put up in the Walmart. Just no joke. I put up in the Walmart parking lot, hopped out. I'm like, oh my God, I can't be seen here. So I had to like get back in. So I'm like, we don't want to give people that pressure if this is like if it's in a food desert.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or something like that. Like we should be cognizant. So let's roll it back slowly.
Right.
Give people a chance to figure out the things.
And create options. Provide lists of options or different, different outlets. Because some people are like, I can't just abandon Amazon, like the convenience, all these things, but they don't have another thing to use. And I've seen people like, no, you can try this website or this. So like slowly getting that list together to support.
Let's get the information out there.
Yes.
We can't just be rash.
No.
We got to be strategic.
Because that's not smart. That doesn't help us.
Nah. So it's going to backfire. It's going to sound good and then nothing going to happen.
Exactly.
And that's why anyway, so that's what's going on. Now, does this matter?
Absolutely.
Let's talk about why. So we're going to walk through some things. We did some deep research. But one of our good friends is an amazing researcher. Esteemed colleague is crazy. Chat GPT.
PhD.
Yes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes. Chat is elite with the research. But that's a true story. So there's all the way back, folks have done this from all different races, religions, creeds, and backgrounds. So going back to the American Revolution, which was folks fighting over a stolen country. Just to be honest, in response to the British tax, we know about this. No taxation without representation.
Where's that energy?
Yeah.
Where is it now? I'm okay.
Yeah. So this actually helped to unify the colonizer colonies and contribute to eventual American resolution where folks, it's a true story, where folks dipped in. They said no more tea, no more taxation for representation. They refused to pay. It had a huge impact and blow to the British colonies at that point. Right?
But how long did it last? That's what I'd be wondering.
Yeah, it was. Don't give me the lion. Yeah, I gotta look it up. We'll loop back and just chat. It looks like it's saying from here from 17. Is this right?
No, but think so. Yeah,
1765. It's about 10 years.
9 years or so.
Yeah. Good. But that's to your point, right? It was systematic and folks committed to it. Yeah, good point. The British boycott of sugar, interesting, right? So abolitionists in Britain, led by Thomas Clarkson and William Wilberforce, because Wilberforce University is named after this man, encouraged people to stop buying sugar produced by enslaved labor in the Caribbean. Yes, so this boycott helped pressure the British government to pass the Slave Trade Act, which started to abolish the transatlantic slave trade in that way, because it was no longer economically viable. Now again, no longer economically viable. Then again, it all goes back to the dollar. Yeah. Even if you go back to and thinking about this, like the Civil War. So the whole reason, and folks truly believe that the Civil War was about the moral injustice of slavery. The actuality of it, though, is that it was crushing the union. Folks could not afford to keep America as it was trying to be up and running when folks were having free labor through enslaved folks. There was no economy. It was crushing the economy. I think I actually did a workshop on this. It was like the equivalent of like $60 billion was what slavery was at that time, right?
Yeah.
So how can folks compete in the union when they have free labor?
Right.
So that was the main impetus. And yes, there was some moral,
not
injustice,
enough moral, no.
but that wasn't the reason.
They didn't care about that.
It tracks back to the economics of things,
Exactly.
right? So as we thinking about this concept, is the right concept. We just got to do it the right way. Okay. Now this is my favorite.
Is it your fave?
The
Interesting.
Montgomery bus boycott. So sparked by Rosa Parks and others. So there were others who before Rosa did this, but she was the one who, rightfully so. They helped to leverage her identity, her standing in the community to help folks get behind it. But she was arrested on sitting on the front of the bus. As you know, at that time, it was illegal for black folks to sit in front of the bus. And folks after that refused to ride the city bus. So this was most notably led by MLK, but really was more folks who helped lead this, including Dorothy Cotton. The boycott lasted over a year and led to a Supreme Court ruling that desegregated public transportation. Now, here are some other key stats about this that I think are going to like blow people's minds. The actual bus boycott, like the impact economically to the transportation system was $1.5 million.
Ooh.
And it lasted 381 days.
And this is in the 1950s.
Which translates to $11 million now.
That's what I'm talking about.
Wow.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. So yeah, folks was like, you know what?
Because it took not only like the idea, but these large amount of people to bravely do these things consistently.
Yeah.
They said over a year. No, I mean, people are just walking.
Yeah.
The struggle, you don't know how much it impacted them because who knows if they were late or what other things might have come up. But I'm like, the consistency, because they were all working toward one goal.
Yeah.
It's like, we need that energy.
Now, here's the thing that people forget to mention. So they mention that, but they don't mention that we organize strategic carpools.
True.
Right? So that was huge. Folks also, we didn't know this, but folks also had their own, it was off the record because we couldn't own business in that way, but like own transportation companies in that way. And we like coordinated schedules with things that we work to allow for people who were like working in the same areas to go to work at the same time so they could carpool. So other words, going back to your point, it was an organized plan to help support people to be able to do this. It was not rushed and just let's post it on Instagram.
Right.
And I think the concept is good, but we actually need to like get behind it if we're going to make real change. And again, it took a year, not a day, that we made real impacts and change. And we might have to like lock in and do that if we truly believe that what's happening right now is unacceptable.
And to the current one, or the one that just passed, point, when did they roll back all these D&I things? What do we remember? If that early February, was that late January? I can't recall.
Yeah, it's like late. What executive order was like January 21st. He signed that.
Right. So I remember Sharpton was talking, and this idea came up, but people were like, "Why is it taking so long? Like, why are we waiting until the end of the month for it?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was probably trying to give people time to plan for it.
Organize.
But what we're missing is these like town hall conversations, right? Where people know the steps that we're taking and why. And because I'm like, all of that makes sense. And I'm sure it's happening, but it's not hitting us nationally like we need it to. People just know, oh yeah, I got to boycott that one day. But they were spending the day before, they spend it the day after.
Yeah.
We're missing the pieces.
Yeah, I wonder, I haven't heard about it happening where I live in Vermont. And I wonder if where you live in the other part of Vermont, have you heard about those things happening?
Oh, down here, I haven't heard anything particularly, which is the problem to me.
Right.
Like, I've heard just other people saying, oh yeah, I'm definitely going to boycott that day. That's it.
No organized kind of situations.
And I have seen that there are other boycotts coming down the pike, and then like some are week long. Yeah. But I don't think anyone knows the strategy behind it. Like, why these specific ones are we boycotting? Why are we doing it in this like kind of staggered out time frame?
Yeah.
Why is it only one day to these big like no spend? You know, I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, and that goes back to us needing organized leadership, right? Because it used to be people, it used to be organizations like the NAACP, which still has prominent, but it doesn't have the same prominence.
Hasn't had the same weight in a while. Yeah.
So we got to get back into that space.
Right. Because I mean, the Montgomery boycotts wasn't even 100 years ago.
Nah.
Not even 100 years ago.
Even 100 years. Like that was the 1950s. Like that was recent.
People are alive still. Like y'all still here.
Yeah. What happened?
Come through. Which is, and I feel bad because Al is the one.
Al the one trying.
He was there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Al done did some stuff that had us like, what's going on with you, brother? But yeah, fair enough. So I guess my ask is, do you think right now Black and brown folks are connected enough, like, you know what I'm saying, in community enough to pull something like this off?
I think yes, only because of how we handled the pandemic, right? There was a lot of revolution, a lot of protesting, and then we organized and we were together for a common goal. I don't think we have upkept that enough, especially with, you know, so much controversy that happened with BLM and all the things.
Oh man,
that there hasn't been a need, in a sense, that people felt to stay in community in that way.
Yeah.
But I think it's possible. I just don't think we're going about it the right way right now.
Got you. So it could happen, and it did happen. But so we're not in that same space. Good point. Another question, or do you? Let me answer that.
Say,
I know. I saw your face.
You
was
trying to get me here.
Yeah. I agree. I think we are. I think as a society, and not even just like us.
Right.
Period. It's more individualistic. A lot of that I think maybe is in. I can't really pinpoint if it's enhanced by or driven by like social media, like the rise of social media. But I know that like definitely enhances it, right? And then the way we like community even looks different now, period. Like the same way folks were connected, like at the barbershop and at the stores, and it's a different time. So it's harder to get something into a grassroots effort because there's so much going on, which is why it worked during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Because everything was paused.
Yeah.
And we could do it. So that, you know, I think right now it's like there's so many distractions that folks are going to not fully fully buy into it.
Yeah.
You know?
That makes sense.
It could. I mean, I think if there's any time, seeing what bro in the White House is doing,
The time is now.
I think that's inspiring folks to be like, oh, dang. Everything he said he was going to do, gang is doing. He did not lie.
Which we, as a people, were aware.
Yeah.
We saw it coming.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
A mile away. It's like, oh, yeah, he about to step on stuff. But he doing it.
Like a Godzilla. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the image that came to mind.
Oh, yeah, that's him. He definitely look like it. But that's okay. So my other question was this. Do we need white folks to join these movements?
Yes. No ifs, ands, or buts.
Give me more.
I think that when you are truly an ally, you position yourself in ways to get those whose voices don't get heard. You know what I mean? So if you have to talk to the people, force your way through, book the camera, stand there and then say, and to introduce, you know what I mean? That kind of energy. I think the hardest thing is when it feels like a us against them versus a we against, you know, the rich and the powerful, pretty much.
Powers that be.
Yeah, the corporations, which is really what it is. It's like, I was just talking to someone about this, and I mean, we could look at it as the show Paradise without giving away details. But like, if you've seen the first episode, you know. Like,
Go ahead.
I haven't seen the last 2 or 3, so don't come for
Right,
me.
I ain't gonna do you like that. Go ahead.
But like, the people are all in this one space, and they are having these issues within each other, not realizing that the people controlling them are the rich and powerful who are watching, oh, look at them fight. Like we've seen it in movies and media, in books, Divergent, Hunger Games. We're all focused on the wrong things.
Yeah.
Right? And you pit two people against each other. You're both not the rich. And you are blaming the other for the problem. When if we look up and realize it's the corporations, it's those billionaires who don't care about us. So yes, we need white people. We need everybody to be aligned.
Yeah, that's right. I agree with that. I think that in order, folks do not want people who are in any type of oppressed or marginalized, regardless of the color, to align, because then you have to start figuring out ways. Folks start identifying the real problems.
Yes.
Like, oh, you know what? Man, we are spending a lot of money on X, Y, and Z when there's people starving in the world. And we could actually, like, there's a lot so yes, good point. And I agree with you. I think we do. And I also think that, like, people don't fully realize that the impacts on folks who might be the most, like, marginalized or might be excluded economically and all that, that impacts everybody. Like, it's not just those people.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, if people flourished more, we all would flourish more. I mean, truthfully, if folks had access to the resources that they needed and could get good, well-paying jobs, that's a thriving wage and all those good things, that boosts the entire economy. If you lived in a place where locally folks, the bottom whatever percent of folks economically took a 10% jump in pay, that would change that entire economy that everybody benefits.
Isn't it crazy? Because, you know, the hardest thing is people are like, well, capitalism needs the poor and they need the middle class so that the rich can stay rich. If the rich all just took off 1% of their wealth, they would still be absolutely rich. And then you add it to the bottom, the poorest of the poor, and everyone gets a push or a boost. They would still be rich.
And I think
and then we'd be okay.
And folks would go into, like, you know, what would they do with that money and all that? And that goes to me saying, like, well, we need to give people the tools and the options. And no matter what you have,
education,
there will always be folks who won't be, for whatever reason, opt not to. But truthfully, that's not what's going on. A lot of the folks don't have access to, and they don't understand that, like, every single day making choices that if you can go get a tutor because you have the car, the people got the time, you got the resources, of course you're going to be ahead and be able to get into a better X, Y, and Z. Someone who doesn't. And so we can make it to where folks get the tutor, as one example, then they have a better chance, right? And so people want that chance, they just don't have that. The thing with, again, the economic piece of it is, if we could invest into the things that have the least investment right now. Like, if folks, it's a common sense math, bro. If I'm spending more money in our local community and people have more dollars flowing, then at the end of the day, we all going to win more. That means there's more jobs flowing. That means it's like more dollars circulating. That's why people I'm about to get all type of political, but that's one of the reasons why folks are concerned about abortion. Moralistically, but also birth rate. Less people, less dollars to tax is just common math. So it's like, it shouldn't be a zero-sum game that if this person make more money, then what about me? It's like, nah, we all can win. That's a mind game that people like don't want. Again, that all goes into a structure. So I say that to say, the reason why I'm getting on this soapbox, y'all, is that we as a people are going to need each other in order to get there. And so we definitely need white folks. We definitely need that. And I think a way to do it and get people's attention is always through dollars and cents.
Yes.
Period.
That's true.
You got to. You feel me? Have you ever done an economic boycott? Like, have you ever said, I'm not going to this place? Like, just on a personal, like, I'm not doing it here. Where was it?
He'll recall this. There was a time when Chick-fil-A would have never known my name. And I said, absolutely not. I don't care what they stand for. And I wasn't going. And I stood 10 toes down. I remember we were with a group. They were like, oh, yeah, we're all going to Chick-fil-A. I'm like, I'm good. I'm not going to go.
Yeah.
And he was like, what's wrong with you? Because he didn't know why. Like, what was my reason at the time? But when I told him, he was like, I can respect that. I remember. You know?
No.
Yeah,
and then
I wasn't trying to play him.
Yeah. But nah, I actually, for a year, because one of our people had told me and showed me, kind of like their stances on things around LGBTQ plus and whatnot. And so I said, I'm gonna take a year off, and I literally did a year with no Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm. And
that was prison.
He loved him some
I
Chick-fil-A.
love me some filet though. Man, so I did do that with Chick-fil-A. Yeah, that was tough. They didn't get my dollars, y'all. And I hope they felt that. Okay. That was
I'm like, besides Chick-fil-A, has there been a time when you've done that again or with a different place?
Yeah. I want to remember what it was. I've done that a few times. I know I am doing it right now with Walmart and Target. I gotta get my socks though. It just hit me. Dang.
There are other places
Yeah,
you can find.
we're not going to Walmart.
I refuse.
It's okay. But I can't remember off the top of my head though. But I have done that intentionally. Like, they won't see $1 from me, you know. And sometimes I do a music artist who'd say and do things like I won't watch a video. I won't do it. It's like nah. They're not saying on principle. Economic boycott.
Right.
Every time.
Right. I support that.
Yeah. And yo, the other thing is
ain't nothing. I know it.
I
see it in his eyes.
That's good. People might be listening right now. They probably thinking, what in the Montgomery bus boycott are they talking about? You know what? Listen, y'all, we might be right.
We might be wrong.
At the end of the day,
We're just young, black, and figuring it out.
CC on the track, boy.